Chapter 7, The Yokai Lucario. The sunlight outside Jubilife faded fast, the sky turning a bruised violet as dusk crept in. Kage, Yoru, and their Pokémon made camp on the edge of a quiet field, close enough to the city to see its lights, but far enough for the world to feel ancient. Piplup sat in Kage's lap, pecking at crumbs. Turtwig lounged next to Yoru, his leaf twitching in the breeze. They'd been too restless to sleep. The memory of Mas Mask haunted Kage's dreams, and even Yoru kept glancing at the shadows as if expecting something to crawl out. Then, just as the last light faded, the ground began to tremble. At first, it was subtle, just a ripple through the grass. But then the tremor grew, and a deep, pulsing hum filled the air. Kage scrambled to his feet, clutching Piplup. Yoru stood, signaling for silence, his eyes scanning the darkness. A cold wind swept the field. Out of the trees came three figures in black ONI uniforms, moving with eerie precision. Behind them, flanked by a dozen more grunts, strode Ma. He didn't have to speak, the grunts parted before him, forming a ring around the field. Kage's heart thudded painfully in his chest. He hugged Piplup close. "Dad." Yoru squared his shoulders, standing between Kage and Ma. "What do you want?" Mas mask gleamed in the moonlight. "I promised you a demonstration of what's to come. You should feel honored, being the first to witness it." He raised a hand. One of the grunts stepped forward, holding a black and red pokeball. With a flick of his wrist, Ma released its contents onto the field. The air split with a howl. A flash of blue light, then a shape took form, tall, lupin, unmistakable, a Lucario. But not any Lucario. This one was wrong. Its fur was darker, almost pitch black, and its eyes glowed a ghostly blue. Around its shoulders, shreds of spectral energy twisted and curled, like wisps of living smoke. Its aura sensors, normally gentle and upright, were now jagged, twitching with every movement. A cracked wooden mask, carved with yokai runes, was lashed to its face, and from behind the mask, the Lucario's breath came in ragged hisses. Kage felt Piplup shake in his arms. Even Yoru took a step back. Ma's voice was cold with triumph. "Behold! Oni's gift to Sinnoh, the first yokai Pokémon. Fused with ancient spirits, stronger, faster, unbreakable." He snapped his fingers. The yokai Lucario's eyes flashed. It let out a roar, no, not a roar, something deeper and older, a sound that seemed to come from beneath the ground. The grass around it wilted. The grunts flinched, but Ma only smiled. "Fight it if you dare," he said, his gaze fixed on Kage. Kage's mind raced. His only Pokémon was Piplup, small and untested. He glanced at his father. Yoru nodded. "We stand together." Ma gestured, and the yokai Lucario lunged. It moved like a shadow, one moment standing tall, the next a blur of claws and teeth. Yoru shouted, "Turtwig, absorb!" Turtwig darted forward, leaves glowing, aiming for the Lucario's side. Lucario dodged with unnatural speed, its aura sensors crackling with ghostly energy. It lashed out, and Turtwig was thrown back, skidding across the ground. Kage's hands shook. "Piplup, bubble!" Piplup puffed up, summoning a stream of bubbles that sparkled in the moonlight and burst harmlessly against Lucario's shadowed fur. The yokai Lucario snarled, its mask glowing with blue runes. It raised a paw and slammed it down, sending a shockwave of dark energy rippling across the field. Kage and Yoru shielded their Pokémon, gritting their teeth as the wave passed over them, cold as winter wind. Ma watched, arms crossed, voice low. "See how weak your bonds are? See what true power looks like." Kage bit his lip, fear and anger warring inside him. "No." "Piplup, pound." Piplup dashed forward, striking Lucario's leg with all its might. For a split second, the Lucario froze, its mask flickering, some old memory stirring. It staggered, just a little. Ma's eyes narrowed. Yoru called, "Turtwig, tackle." Turtwig barreled into Lucario's side. This time, the yokai Pokemon reeled back, howling. The field shuddered as Lucario drew in power, the runes on its mask burning brighter. It unleashed a burst of ghostly aura, knocking both Pokemon back. Cage ran to Piplup, who struggled but refused to give in. "You're strong," Cage whispered. "I know you are. You're not alone." Piplup looked up at him, determination in its eyes. Yoru did the same for Turtwig. "We fight together." Ma watched, silent. For an instant, something flashed across his mask: curiosity. Doubt. But then he waved a hand, and Lucario ceased its attack, returning to his side. "Enough," Ma said. "You've seen what's possible. Next time, you won't be so lucky." He recalled Lucario, and the grunts melted into the darkness, leaving only the echo of the yokai's howl behind. Cage and Yoru slumped to the grass, exhausted but unbroken. Yoru put a hand on Cage's shoulder. "You did well. You and Piplup, you stood up to him." Cage hugged his Pokemon tight. "He's not unbeatable. He's strong, but he's not right. We can help the others." "I know it." The wind carried the last traces of Lucario's howl away. The field was quiet again, but the world had changed. Timo and I's threat was no longer just a rumor, it was real, and it wore a mask. But Cage and Yoru had faced it together, and for the first time, they knew what they were fighting for. Tomorrow, they would go on. But tonight, as the moon rose over Sinnoh, Cage swore to himself that he would never let the shadows win.